Whittier is a city in Los Angeles County, California, about 12 miles southeast of Los Angeles. The city had a population of 85,331 at the 2010 census, up from 83,680 as of the 2000 census, and encompasses 14.7 square miles. Like nearby Montebello, the city constitutes part of the Gateway Cities. Whittier was incorporated in February 1898 and became a charter city in 1955. The city is named for the poet John Greenleaf Whittier and is home to Whittier College. History. Whittier's roots can be traced to Spanish soldier Manuel Nieto. In 1784, Nieto received a Spanish land grant of 300,000 acres, Rancho Los Nietos, as a reward for his military service and to encourage settlement in California. The area of Nieto's land grant was reduced in 1790 as the result of a dispute with Mission San Gabriel. Nonetheless, Nieto still had claim to 167,000 acres stretching from the hills north of Whittier, Fullerton and Brea, south to the Pacific Ocean, and from what is known today as the Los Angeles River east to the Santa Ana River. Nieto built a rancho for his family near Whittier, and purchased cattle and horses for his ranch and also planted cornfields. When Nieto died in 1804, his children inherited their father's property. At the time of the Mexican-American War, much of the land that would become Whittier was owned by Pio Pico, a rancher and the last Mexican governor of California. Pio Pico built a hacienda here on the San Gabriel River, known today as Pio Pico State Historic Park. Following the Mexican-American War, German immigrant Jacob F. Gherkins paid $234 to the U.S. government to acquire 160 acres of land under the Homestead Act and built the cabin known today as the Jonathan Bailey House. Gherkins would later become the first chief of police of the Los Angeles Police Department. Gherkins' land was owned by several others before a group of Quakers purchased it and expanded it to 1,259 acres, with the intent of founding a Quaker community. The area soon became known as a thriving citrus ranching region, with Quaker brand fruit being shipped all over the United States. Later, walnut trees were also planted, and Whittier became the largest walnut grower in the United States. In addition to walnuts and citrus, Whittier was also a major producer of pampas grass. For many years, the sole means of transport from this area to Los Angeles was on foot, or via horse and wagon over rough dirt roads, impeding settlement, development, and the export of agriculture. Thus, in 1887, enterprising and aggressive businessmen contracted with the Southern Pacific Railroad to build the first railroad spur to Whittier, including a depot. The businessmen covered the $43,000 construction cost for the 6-mile spur, which branched off from the Southern Pacific Main Line at a junction near what is now Studebaker Road between Firestone Boulevard and Imperial Highway. By 1906, 650 carloads of oranges and 250 carloads of lemons were shipped annually by rail. In 1904, the Pacific Electric opened the trolley line known as Big Red Cars, from Los Angeles to Whittier. In the first 2 decades, over 1 million passengers a year rode to and from Los Angeles on the Whittier line. Groves of walnuts were planted in 1887 and eventually Whittier was known as the primary walnut-growing town in the United States. After World War II, Whittier grew rapidly and the subdividing of orange groves began, driven by housing shortages in Southern California. In 1955, the new Civic Center complex was completed and the City Council met in new chambers for the first time on March 8, 1955. The city continued to grow as the city annexed portions of Whittier Boulevard and East Whittier. The 1961 annexation added over 28,000 people to the population, bringing the total to about 67,000. Origin of name: in the founding days of Whittier, when it was a small isolated town, Jonathan Bailey and his wife, Rebecca, were among the first residents. They followed the Quaker religious faith and practice, and held religious meetings on the porch. Other early settlers, such as Aquila Pickering, espoused the Quaker faith. As the city grew, the citizens named it after John Greenleaf Whittier, a respected Quaker poet, and deeded a lot to him. Whittier wrote a dedication poem, and is honored today with statues and a small exhibit at the Whittier Museum. A statue of him sits in Whittier's Central Park, and another representing his poem The Barefoot Boy used to reside by the City Hall. Whittier never set foot there, but the city still bears his name and is rooted in the Quaker tradition. Quaker history in Whittier. The first Quaker meetings were held on the front porch of the Jonathan Bailey House. Eventually, as more Quakers arrived, the need for an actual meeting house arose, and the first Quaker meeting house was built on the corner of Comstock Avenue and Wardman Street in 1887. The meeting soon outgrew this 100-seat meeting house, and a new larger building was erected on the corner of Philadelphia Street and Washington Avenue. In 1902, by 1912, membership had grown to 1,200 and a third building was dedicated on the same site in 1917. With a capacity of 1,700, the 1917 meeting house featured a balcony and was constructed of brick with mahogany paneling and pews. The present meeting house, dedicated in 1975, features many architectural elements and materials from the 1917 building, including the stained glass windows and mahogany interior. The Quakers also founded Whittier Academy, and additional meetings met in East Whittier and at Whittier College's Mendenhall. Both the Mendenhall meeting and the East Whittier meeting kept the silent meeting longer than the main church. College history. In 1887, the Pickering Land and Water Company set aside a 20-acre parcel of land for the development of a college, but a collapse in the land boom stalled construction. Progress on developing a college was sporadic, but on July 30, 1896, the Whittier Academy, operating since 1891, officially changed its name to Whittier College with 100 students enrolled. The school mascot is the poet. By 1906, Whittier College was an educational institution with laboratories, boarding halls, a large gymnasium and athletic fields. Due to an economic depression in the 1890s, the first bachelor's degrees were not awarded at the college for 17 years. The Mendenhall building at Whittier College was donated by Leona May Mendenhall in honor of her husband Oscar. The Mendenhalls were among the founding families of Whittier. Oscar's brother, Samuel Mendenhall, helped bring in the water system and post office. The Mendenhalls were large growers for Sunkist oranges and Blue Diamond walnuts. Whittier was the first home to Azusa Pacific University, established on March 3, 1899, by the Quaker community and a Methodist evangelist under the name Training School for Christian Workers. Whittier Narrows earthquake. On October 1, 1987, at 7:42 a.m., the Whittier Narrows earthquake struck. The epicenter 6 miles north by northwest of Whittier. The seismic event, which registered 5.9 on the Richter scale, resulted in 8 casualties and massive damage to uptown Whittier's historic buildings. 3 days later, on October 4, 1987, at 3:59 a.m., a major aftershock measuring 5.2 occurred, causing further damage. Buildings and residential structures which were already borderline unsafe were now deemed unsafe or uninhabitable. In the years following the earthquake, the city's deteriorating uptown business district, which suffered substantial damage in the earthquake, became the focus of renewed development, which met with opposition from many Whittier citizens. Out of the rubble of the earthquake, the Whittier Conservancy was formed in 1987 in an effort to stop the demolition of many historic buildings and residences after the disaster. The city also created a Historic Resources Commission to oversee the approval of historic designations, historic districts and Mills Act proposals. Whittier Narrows earthquake also destroyed the quad at Whittier, a shopping mall which had to be rebuilt as a result of earthquake damage. Geography and climate. Whittier is located at 33 degrees 57 minutes 56 seconds north, 118 degrees 1 minute 28 seconds west, 33.96556 degrees north, 118.02444 degrees west, 33.96556 minus 118.02444. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 14.7 square miles, virtually all land. Whittier is bordered by the community of Hacienda Heights to the northeast, City of Industry to the north, and several other unincorporated communities in the San Gabriel Valley, mostly along its northern sections. Pico Rivera lies at the west, La Habra Heights to the east, La Habra to the southeast, and Santa Fe Springs to the south. Whittier is situated approximately 18 miles inland of the Pacific Ocean, resulting in higher daytime temperatures, and since it lies at a higher elevations than the cities further west, cold air drains into lower elevation of the Los Angeles Basin, which results in warmer nighttime lows, producing an example of thermal inversion. Winter daytime highs typically range from 68 degrees Fahrenheit to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, with overnight lows dropping to about 43 degrees Fahrenheit to 54 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, highs range from 78 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit and corresponding overnight lows in the 58 degrees Fahrenheit to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Rainfall follows a Mediterranean pattern, with the majority of the rain falling during the winter months, while summer tend to be rather dry. The mean annual rainfall is approximately 14 inches. Neighborhoods. There are several neighborhoods in Whittier. The area centered around Philadelphia Street and Greenleaf Avenue is known as Uptown Whittier and contains the traditional central business core. Just north of Uptown Whittier are the neighborhoods known as Central Park and Hadley Greenleaf. They have been designated historic districts by the City Historic Resources Commission, and together comprise most of the area of the Whittier Historic Neighborhood Association. These districts contain many craftsman and Spanish colonial revival homes. In and abutting the hills north of the historic districts is Starlight Estates. The area surrounding Whittier College is known as College Hills and was also recently designated a historic district, as has a small cluster of homes along Earlham Drive. The area east of College Avenue is referred to as East Whittier. East Whittier was a separate agricultural community until the post-war era. The eastern parts of East Whittier, developed in the 1950s and 60s, are Friendly Hills, which was developed at the same time as Murphy Ranch and Leffingwell Ranch. Friendly Hills and Murphy Ranch are generally thought of as north of Whittier Boulevard, while Leffingwell Ranch is south of the boulevard. The area at the extreme east of Whittier is occasionally referred to as Sunclo. Demographics. 2010. The 2010 United States Census reported that Whittier had a population of 85,331. The population density was 5,818.6 people per square mile. The racial makeup of Whittier was 55,117 white, 1,092 African American, 1,093 Native American, 3,262 Asian, 123 Pacific Islander, 20,848 from other races, and 3,796 from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 56,081 persons. The census reported that 83,696 people lived in households, 1,083 lived in non-institutionalized group quarters, and 552 were institutionalized. there were 28,273 households, out of which 11,289 had children under the age of 18 living in them. 14,152 were opposite-sex married couples living together. 4,566 had a female householder with no husband present. 1,896 had a male householder with no wife present. There were 1,770 unmarried opposite-sex partnerships, and 247 same-sex married couples or partnerships. 6,096 households were made up of individuals, and 2,495 had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.96. There were 20,614 families. The average family size was 3.46. The population was spread out with 21,686 people under the age of 18, 9,198 people aged 18 to 24, 23,627 people aged 25 to 44, 20,819 people aged 45 to 64, and 10,001 people who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 35.4 years. For every 100 females there were 94.0 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 90.5 males. There were 29,591 housing units at an average density of 2,017.8 per square mile, of which 16,207 were owner-occupied, and 12,066 were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 1.3%, the rental vacancy rate was 5.1%. 49,393 people lived in owner-occupied housing units and 34,303 people lived in rental housing units. During 2009 to 2013, Whittier had a median household income of $68,522, with 12.4% of the population living below the federal poverty line. 2000. As of the census of 2000, there were 83,680 people, 28,271 households, and 20,468 families residing in the city. The population density was 5,719.4 inhabitants per square mile. There were 28,977 housing units at an average density of 1,980.5 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 43.2% white, 1.2% African American, 1.3% Native American, 3.3% Asian, 0.2% Pacific Islander, 25.8% from other races, and 5.0% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 65.9% of the population. There were 28,271 households, out of which 37.8% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 52.5% were married couples living together. 14.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 27.6% were non-families. 22.4% of all households were made up of individuals, and 9.4% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.88 and the average family size was 3.38. In the city, the population was spread out with 28.3% under the age of 18, 10.0% from 18 to 24, 30.6% from 25 to 44, 18.6% from 45 to 64, and 12.5% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 33 years. For every 100 females there were 94.6 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 90.1 males. The median income for a household in the city was $49,256, and the median income for a family was $55,726. Males had a median income of $40,394 versus $34,223 for females. The per capita income for the city was $21,409. About 7.8% of families and 10.5% of the population were below the poverty line, including 13.7% of those under age 18 and 8.0% of those age 65 or over. Government. In the California state legislature, Whittier is in the 32nd Senate District, represented by Democrat Tony Mendoza, and in the 57th Assembly District, represented by Democrat Ian Calderon. In the United States House of Representatives, Whittier is in California's 38th Congressional District, represented by Democrat Linda Sanchez. Infrastructure. The Los Angeles County Department of Health Services operates the Whittier Health Center in Whittier. At one time the California Youth Authority operated the Fred C. Nels Youth Correctional Facility. The center, which started operations in 1890, closed on May 27, 2004. Business. Whittier's redevelopment agency has numerous projects underway to revitalize the community. This includes a $7 million project near the historic Hoover Hotel. The Whitwood Town Center, anchored by J.C. Target, Sears, Vons, and Kohl's, has made way for Red Robin and Carino's Italian. The city still waits to attract more well-known businesses and open new residential townhomes with the revival of its Uptown district. In addition, the agency is working on developing a 480-acre project area near Whittier Boulevard. The master plan was adopted in June 2005 by the City Council. Media. The local newspaper is the Whittier Daily News. Other area papers include the San Gabriel Valley Tribune, the parent paper of the Whittier Daily News, the Los Angeles Times, in the Orange County Register. Top employers. According to the city's 2013 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, the top employers in the city are transportation. There are a variety of bus routes operating within the city, with Metro, Foothill Transit, Montebello bus lines and the Norwalk Transit being the leading bus lines used within the city. Foothill Transit Line 274 originates at Beverly and Norwalk, then proceeds north to Baldwin Park via Workman Mill Road and Puente Avenue. Foothill Transit Line 285 travels through Whittier on Whittier Boulevard and Colima Road between La Habra and Hacienda Heights. Montebello Transit Line 10 originates at Whitwood Mall, then proceeds west to Montebello and the Atlantic Gold Line station via Whittier Boulevard. Montebello 40 originates at Beverly and Norwalk, then proceeds west to Montebello and downtown Los Angeles via Beverly Boulevard and 4th Street. Montebello 50 travels through Whittier between La Mirada and downtown Los Angeles. Metro Bus Line 121 originates at Whitwood Mall and travels west to the Norwalk Green Line station, then to the Aviation Green Line station via Imperial Highway. Metro Bus Line 270 runs through North, Uptown and West Whittier on its way between Monrovia and the Norwalk Green Line station. The Sunshine Shuttle is a circular serving Whittier and the unincorporated communities of South and West Whittier. The city also has a variety of freeways, with the San Gabriel River Freeway running right along the northern end of the city. State Route 72 runs via Whittier Boulevard and forms part of El Camino Real. Other major streets in Whittier include Beverly Boulevard, Colima Road, Greenleaf Avenue, Lambert Road, Mar Vista Street, Mills Avenue, Norwalk Boulevard, Painter Avenue, Philadelphia Street and Washington Boulevard. Police and fire departments. Police. The Whittier Police Department provides patrol service to the communities of Whittier and Santa Fe Springs. Currently, over 100 officers are assigned to patrol the city streets. The patrol division includes an traffic bureau, special enforcement team, code enforcement, and school resource officers. The Police Services Division consists of the Records Bureau, 911 Communications Center, Property and Evidence, and the jail. The Services Division operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, staffing communications and records functions around the clock. This permits continuous support to patrol and investigational activities. In October 2010, the dedication of the new, spacious police station was held. It is a 53,000-square-foot facility, built at a cost of $35 million. Police Chief David Singer said he has been working towards a new station since 2002, but the project has been in the works for 3 decades. Because the old station, built in 1955, at only 20,000 square feet was so small, voters had previously rejected a raise in their utility tax, so the delay in building was a matter of finding funding. Included in the new station is a more modern jail, air conditioning, upgraded radio and 911 communications systems, and more space for the department officers and private interview rooms. Chief Singer celebrated his efforts by retiring that day, and leaving behind the attractive new building for his officers and community. Fire Los Angeles County Fire Department Station 28, Station 17, Station 59 serve the community of Whittier. The Los Angeles County Fire Department, Battalion 8 services the unincorporated area of Whittier.